Okay, hi everyone. Let's start then. Okay, let me share my screen. So, can everyone see my screen? Show me a thumbs up if you can see my screen now. Everyone can see? Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, so if you can see my screen, we're gonna start. All right, everybody. So who has some experience with Python before? Show me a thumbs up if you've done Python before or any programming. Okay, so not many, just a few. Just a few. Okay, no problem. Oh, quite a few. But today we're just gonna talk about the introduction to programming. Let's see if I can start my presentation here. Okay, so does anyone, let me start by this question, okay? Does anyone know why we need programming? Anyone? Raise your hand if you know the answer. Why we need programming? Anyone else?
Jazz raise your hand. Jazz, go ahead. Jazz.
Oh, okay.
It's what builds what we are using right now.
It is what builds what we're using right now. That's right. But then the whole idea is that computers only understand 0 and 1, okay? So this is all computer can understand because it's built on what is called binary system. So it doesn't matter what you're using inside your computer. It's just essentially a different combination of 0 and 1s, a whole bunch of them in different combinations. So that's why programming is to change from what we can understand and what we can write into what computer can understand and what computers can do. So that's why we need programming. Obviously, we can write, like, we don't understand what 0 and 1 means, right? What does that mean? Like, but then that's why we need programming. Okay, so now, these are the most popular languages right now in 2020. Python, Java, JavaScript, C#, PHP, C++, these are the most popular ones. Do you guys know what they're used for? Okay, so let's say, do you guys know what JavaScript is used for? Does anyone know?
Minecraft.
What, Minecraft?
No, Minecraft runs on Java.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, it runs on Java, that's right. What about other things? It is, right? About JavaScript, what about, let's say, C++?
Minecraft also runs on it.
Yeah, that's true too. But then what's Python used for? You know, we're gonna talk about it later, but let's do a little game together, okay? So we're gonna start by, let's say, phone apps. Phone apps, especially Android apps. So on your Samsung, on your Huawei or OnePlus, these phone apps, do you guys know what languages they're written in? So raise your hand if you think it's Python. Anyone? No one thinks it's Python? Oh, okay, just one. Okay, now raise your hand if you think it's Java. Oh, couple. Oh, pretty good. So raise your hand if you think it's JavaScript, okay? No? No? You raise your hand if you think it's C#. Yeah, the answer is Java. Who got it right? Who got it right? I think like a couple people got it right. Yeah, Neo, Meow. Couple. How did you know? How did you know it's Java?
Because Java is more moddable.
Yeah, that's true. Very good. Okay, so the next one, let's see. Windows system. All your operating systems, Windows system, Mac system, what language is it written in? Let's say, raise your hand if you think C#. The first one. Okay, we got Neo. Okay, what about second one, PHP? Raise your hand if you think it's PHP. No one? No one thinks it's PHP? No, PHP doesn't get any love. Oh, Pang Pang. Okay, raise your hand if you think C++. Very good, very good, that's right. How did you guys know? So Windows system is actually written in C++. Do you guys know why? Anyone knows why?
Because maybe they made it?
No, it's actually because C++ is very good for writing large programs, large softwares. All of them are mostly written in C++. That's why all the complicated stuff like Windows system, Mac operating system, they're all written in C++. Okay. So let's do one more. Websites. What are websites written in? So raise your hand if you think it's Python. Websites, Python. No one? Okay, so raise your hand if you think it's Java. No one? So raise your hand if you think it's JavaScript.
It's JavaScript.
Who said it? So raise your hand if you think it's PHP. Yeah, quite a couple. Well, this is a trick question because it's all of them. Website actually use all of them. Depends on what your website does. Okay, so Python, about 1 to 2% of websites use Python. About 5 to 6% websites use Java. But 95% websites use JavaScript. Who said it? Who said JavaScript?
Me.
Who? Oja?
Yeah.
Yeah. So about 50% of websites use PHP as their backend. It depends on what you use your websites for. For example, if you're doing a website like Facebook, YouTube, Netflix, you will need a lot of different languages combined together to write it because it has so many things you need to do. There's so many people using it. That's why it's all of them and a lot of other languages as well. Okay, so one last one. Game design. Okay, so game, what language do you think is written in? Raise your hand if you think it's Java. No one?
I think it's all of them because I've seen all of them in games.
Okay. Yeah, spoiler.
Well,
okay. The answer is all of them. Do you guys know why? Because it depends on where your game is played, what platform your game is played. If you're playing on an Android phone, of course, it's written in Java, or some other desktop games is written in Java as well. If you're playing on a website, then it's, of course, JavaScript, because 95% of the website use JavaScript. If you're playing on your iPhone or iPad, it's probably C#. If you're playing on the desktop, it's C++. Usually at the beginning, C++ is the most popular language in writing games because desktop or game console like PS4, Xbox, these are the only place to play games. So it was very popular in the beginning, but right now it's not. But still, it's very popular. Okay, so with all the things we mentioned, we didn't really talk about Python. Okay, so where is Python used? Anyone else? We mentioned one thing before where Python is used. Does anyone remember? Yeah, John?
I feel like it's more like grab this and like an interacting with other programs type code.
Interacting with other program? Sort of, a little. Not exactly right. Yeah, Jet?
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man? Well, I mean, you can use Python to write games, that's true. You can use Python to write games.
Tetris. A lot of the old games.
Yep. You can use Python to write games, no problem. Anyone
I
else?
use Python to write Snake.
Yeah. Python is also using game
We can use
design, but not
Python to write Pong.
yeah, a lot of games. But right now, why
Sonic.
Python is becoming so popular is because AI, artificial intelligence. Do you guys know what that is? Anyone knows what that is? Oh, you want to answer it? What do you think artificial intelligence is?
Bots.
Bots? Yeah, it's one way to put it. Yeah, robots.
Bots with
But-
a brain.
Exactly. So it's about brain, okay? What artificial intelligence means is that we're
Big
trying to, big brain. We're trying to recreate our brain inside of the computer. We want computers to think exactly the same way like we do. That's why we have artificial intelligence. If computer can think exactly the same way like we do, then we don't need to work anymore. Computer can just do all the work for us. That'd be good. But that's the very far into the future. For now, artificial intelligence, we're still very early to it, which means right now we can probably make cars drive itself or trucks to drive itself. That kind of small things that we can do.
We can teach it how to play Pong.
Yeah, you can teach computer how to play games. That's right. For example, now this AlphaGo, they know how to play Go. And this chess and all the different games. Okay, so now that's basically the introduction of what Python is and what it does. It's mostly used in this thing. That's why it's becoming very popular, because AI is becoming very popular right now. So if you guys are ready, let's write some code together. Okay, we're gonna write some very simple codes. If you've learned it before, it's probably gonna be too easy for you. Okay, so if you want to, you can, I'm gonna stop sharing. Yeah, oh, sorry. So go to the one I sent in the chat. Let me send this again. So this will allow you to open up a Python compiler, or you can write it in Visual Studio Code. Let me open it up as well. Just click on the link. We're gonna write some very simple code. I guess most of you haven't written any code before, so bear with me if you have. So now, is everyone in? Show me a thumbs up if you're in. Okay, very good. So now, if you run it, you will have your first line of code ever written. If you haven't written any code before. So this is to start running the program. So right now, what this one means is just that it's gonna print this text into this side, which is called our terminal. Let me write it down, terminal. Yeah, so if you're at Visual Studio, you can use that as well. But this is our terminal.
You can run it straight into the terminal. Like you can type it in the terminal if you're using PowerShell.
Yeah, you can also run it straight in here, but it's better to write here and then run it. Okay, so if you click on run, oh, nothing happened. Oh, yeah, there you go. This will be the code, first code for a lot of you. Is everyone working? Did everyone print hello world like this? Show me a thumbs up if yours is working, okay? Very good. Okay, so now let's change a little. We're gonna say, hi, my name is Martin. Put it into your name, don't put my name, okay? This is my first line of code. Try to do it like this. And now I want you to run it again. This will be officially the first line of code most of you write. Okay, so try to run it here. It's gonna print, my name is Martin, and this is my first line of code for most of you. Is everyone okay? Everyone's working? Show me a thumbs up, yours is working, okay? Very nice. Okay, so now we already have the basic stuff. This is how we print stuff, which is just to show the result of your code. And then let's erase this. We're gonna do something more complicated. Let me give you the idea of what a variable is. You guys know, anyone else? Ja, you know what a variable is?
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Is it the one, like, for example, this specific thing equals, and you write whatever you want?
Yes, but what is variable? Like the idea.
Oh, definition that doesn't really exist in a code, but you create it yourself.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, what about you, Janet? You want to answer the question?
I'm having trouble. It's too slow.
Okay. Oh, what's wrong?
It's too slow.
Oh, it's too slow. Maybe try to refresh your page if it's not working. Oh, okay, that's good. Try to refresh your page. Is it okay? Is everything okay now?
No,
Is it not printing on the right side?
it's still loading.
Oh, still loading? You mean your website or something else? Yeah, I think it could be because something wrong with the internet. So maybe just follow, just watch for now if you can write any. Okay, so now the idea of variable, it is like what John mentioned, it is to define something. But basically the easier way to put it is that you can think of variables like a box. So I'm gonna draw a box here. So think of it like a box, okay? Yeah, pretend this is a box. Think of it like a box, and inside of a box, you can put anything in. For example, you can put books inside the box, you can put cups inside the box, it doesn't really matter. But variable is the box that we have, and then we're gonna put things into it, and then we're gonna define it that way. Now let's write our first variable. I'm just gonna do it in a different way, just call my name. It doesn't really matter what this is, okay? So it doesn't really matter. It could be gibberish like this. It still make it a variable. Just anything, it still make it a variable. But if you want to understand it better, so write whatever that you're gonna put in. So I'm gonna put in my name into here. So I'm gonna define my variable as my name. That's how it works. So this will be probably the first variable for most of you. And then to assign something into it, we just need an equal sign. Now, if you want to assign our name into it, we need something, which is a quote. And then we're going to put our name. Do you guys know what a quote is for?
It's a string.
Yes, the quote makes a string over here. With a quote, it makes whatever you put in here what is called a string. So what string is actually very simple. String just means text, okay? They call it string just to confuse people, but whatever you put around the quote is text. So what happens if you don't put a quote around it? Okay, so if you don't put a quote around it, for example, I don't put a quote around it, just like Martin here, the program here will try to look for a Martin variable that we defined earlier. But because we didn't do any Martin variable earlier, and there's no Martin here earlier, that's why it's gonna result in an error. That's why we can't put it just like this. We need to put the quote around it, which makes it string, and which is just test. Now I want you to print my name. My name like this. If you run it, you should see your name without the quote. Is it working for everybody? Show me a thumbs up if it's working for everybody. Okay, very good. Now you have your own first variable. Very nice, very good. Okay, so now we'll try to join maybe two variables together to make it a, let's see, make it a greeting message. Okay, I'm gonna create a second variable, okay? I'm gonna call it greetings. Close to like this.
看看，
Greetings.
不是讲游戏的。
And then we're gonna do maybe hi. This welcome to the programming world. Just like this, maybe a space at the end. Welcome to the programming world. Now, if you want to join two texts together, that's in different variable. It's very simple. I'm going to give you guys some time to finish writing this part. Everyone okay? So instead of printing this, we're going to print how to join two texts together. It's just two variables together. It's just greetings plus my name, like this. And now I want you to run it to see if it works. Is it working for everyone? Show me a thumbs up if it's working for everyone. Okay, good. Okay, very good.
Nope.
Or is still not working for you? This website is still not running, still loading. Very good, Neil. Okay, seems like most of you are working. Okay, so now after this, let's give it some different ideas variable. So before we talked about these things called string, right? Let's do a different, oh, how do I get my pen? So this one's called string, which is just test, string, like this, which is just test. Okay, does anyone know what other types of variables are there?
Integer.
Integer, yes, and?
I forgot the last one.
Okay, so there are majority 4 types of variables. So the first one is called, yeah, like we did, the first one is called string. This is one type of variable, or you don't need to do this part. I'm just writing it just so that you know how many types are there. So how many types of things that we can put inside a variable? String, which is just text equals to text. Integer, you guys know what integer is, right? Integer is just a whole number. And one more, float. Float is just number with decimals. And the last one is a little bit hard to understand, just Boolean, which is just true or false. These are the couple of different kind of variables that we have. It's pretty, for example, I'm just gonna give it an example. E.g. test, could be just anything. Text, whole number, let's say 10, 12, 11, 5, 8, 6, these are whole numbers. And then float, 10.2, 12.1, 123.1, and then 11.5. These are all floats. And then true or false, just true or false, okay? Now, let me ask you some trick questions. Do you think variables can be changed? So if I say my name equals to Martin and I do my name equals to, okay, Uncle Michael here. Is my name Martin or my name Uncle Michael or pregnant? Which one do you think it's gonna be? Okay, so raise your hand if you think it's gonna be Martin. Whoa, okay, Jet, very good. Raise your hand if you think it's gonna be Michael. No one? Oh, okay, couple, good. The answer is, you know what, why don't you try it, okay? So why don't you go try it, make my name one thing and then my name another thing again, and then print it to see which one does it change. That's a question.
It's Martin though, because Python
Wow.
reads row by row like this.
Yeah, so if you reach row by row, what's it gonna be again?
It's gonna be Michael.
That's right. So it's gonna be Michael. So just, which means that whatever you put in can be changed. just like this. It's gonna be Michael, which means that if you're gonna change it one more time, my name equals to, let's say, Kyle. It's gonna get changed to Kyle because, as what John mentioned before, Python runs it line by line like this. So this is the first line it runs. It's gonna read my Martin and then insert it into my name. And then reads the second line, it's gonna think Michael and then insert it into my name, change Martin with it. And then the third line, Kyle, which it reads it line by line like this. So this is why it will change. Very good. Okay. Now let's do some simple calculations together because that's what we can do with our Python. Let's say number one, can I do number 1 equals to 10. Let me try to see if it works. I don't know if I can prove it.
Yeah, it works.
Ready? Okay, good. Because I didn't know if I could put
I made it add a
and then-
bajillion numbers.
Okay, that's good. Number 2 equals to 12. And then we're gonna print the answer of number 1 plus number 2. What is it gonna be? Everyone knows what's gonna print? Does everyone know? You wanna go ahead and
Gonna
try
add.
it? Yeah? So it's gonna print at the end?
Yeah, it's gonna add.
It's gonna add. So if it's gonna add, it's gonna print 22. Okay, so in order for you to understand this better, put a quote around this number, okay? To put a quote around this number. And I want you, okay, so what do you think is gonna print now? If I put a quote around it, if I print it, what's it gonna be?
1012.
Who is that?
Infinity.
Yeah, it is gonna be 1012, 1012. That's the reason. So, because before it's adding up two numbers, because we define it as number, we define it as integer, or what's called at the beginning, it's 1012. Adding together, as we know, it's gonna be equal to 22. And then after we put a quote around it, they become tests. They're not numbers anymore. So that you understand the variable types better.
1
So
plus
right
1
now,
does equal 11.
yeah. Oh, okay, good. So if they become tests, we're just joining two tests together. We're not joining them as number anymore. It's just gonna print as the test of 10, 12, like this. This is how it works. Okay, so everyone okay with this part? Very good. Okay, why don't we just try something together to join it, just to practice how joining different variables together. I'm gonna show you a line of code and then you can write it. It's called input. So we're gonna try to get input from people, so not just yourself. So anyone put in the name will become the greeting message. So I say my name equals to input. We're gonna say, please put in your name, like this. And then we are gonna join this with our greeting message. You know what, let's do a couple more things. My age. Okay, yeah, let's do my age as well. My age equals to input. Please put in your age, like this. So it's gonna put in your name first, and then you need to put in your age, and then we're gonna do a greeting message. the way to join different tests together and numbers together is just, now I'm going to show you in a second, but try this first. Input my name and then input my age. This is how you get people to input different stuff into your program.
Hi.
Yeah? Anyone has any question? Very good, okay. Okay, so now we're gonna print hi, maybe comma, my name is, and then we're gonna plus my name, and then plus my age is, and then gonna plus my age, just like this. Again, it's gonna run line by line. So you're gonna put into your name, and then you're gonna put in your age, and then it's gonna print a message that shows a combination of the things.
What's the other thing where you can also add like your name and stuff?
All different things to join it. I think this is the other way is to. Yeah. Anyone has a question?
Hi.
Yeah. You have any question? No, that's good. Just like this, and then we can run it. Please input your name. This is
Good.
great. Oh yeah. So you have any question? No. Just gonna say input your name, Martin. Input your age. I'm 26 this year. So it's gonna say, hi, my name is Martin, and my age is 26. Just like this. Now you have a very simple program of your own. Just to join things together.
What's the other thing that also joins things together?
Yeah, I think it's called string interpolation. I don't know if it works like this. Let's try it. Oh no, it doesn't work. I forgot what symbol I gotta use for it. Because depends on different language, use different symbol for it. Yeah, I'll look it up in a second. Okay, so now you have a very simple program of your own.
What's
Input
up,
your name.
Martin?
Oh, Bohan, is that you? So Martin, input your age, 26. It's gonna print you a message. So if you change it to different name and different age, that's gonna be different name and different age as well. So input your name. Let's say my name is Kyle, and I'm 12. It's gonna say my name is Kyle and my age is 12. That's how you customize different message for different people. It's a very simple program. Show me a thumbs up if it's working for you, okay? Or if you have any questions.
What if you put an integer?
Was it not working? That's a good question.
Like, will it just break, or do you have some insurance thing?
So you want to put in a number?
No, I know how to put in a number. Well, what happens if you put in a number?
What happens if you put in a number? That's a good question. So is it going to be a test or is it going to be integer? Where you put a number? So for example, here, I put my age, right? Please put in your age. I'm going to print my age. Do you think, okay, so I'm going to put maybe 3. Oh, it's not printing. Why do this to me? Why you do this to me? I'm going to refresh it. So my age equals to input. Please put in your age and my age. Run it. 3. Yeah. So is this 3 over here? integer or string? So is this gonna be a number or is this gonna be a text? Does anyone know? Is this gonna be a number or text? Num or text? $1 million question. Raise your hand if you want to answer the
There's
question.
a code to check.
Yeah, there's a code to check. But what's your guess?
Integer.
Integer. So raise your hand if you think this 3 here is a number. Anyone? No one? Okay, so what about raise your hand if you think this is a text? Okay, couple. Okay, so whoever answered this is the text, you got it right. This is actually a text. So if you want to use this my age to do some calculation, you won't be able to do it because this number 3 here is a string, which is just text. Okay, this is a string, which is just text. It's not a number, so you won't be able to use this number 3
You can
to
convert
do
it.
any calculation. But there's one way to find out whether your variable is string or is text or not, which is just to do a type.
What does Martin mean?
Yeah. Just put a type around it. And then you can find out what type this variable is. If you run it like this, input your age 3. See, it's gonna print me, it's a string, but it's not a text. You can see here, this is how to find out what type your variable is. Print type plus variable, which means this number 3 here is just text. Again, you won't be able to do any calculation with that.
No, we can do calculations. We just gotta convert it.
Yeah, we gotta convert it, but right now we can't do any calculation with that. Everyone understand this concept? Everyone okay with this? Okay, so what else we do is that we use this platform called the Code Combat. How do I get my mouse? The Code Combat platform, which allows us to learn programming in a gaming kind of way. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm already logged in. So my class, we have a lot of different games in here. Depends on what kind of programming language you're doing. For example, I'm going to do Python here. This will allow us to learn Python in a playing game kind of mode. I'm going to play the first level. See if you guys can help me with this. It's very simple. Let's see which one is this time. I'm probably gonna try at 100.
Lance Gordon Freeman.
Okay, so the way we play this game is just, it's gonna tell you what this kind of code does, and then you gotta accomplish some kind of goal in here. For example, right now I gotta grab that germ, and I have some basic commands here that I can use. Where's my pen? So for example, right now I have a couple different commands here I can use. I can move right, move down, move left, move up. That's very simple first level. So that's why right now I'm just gonna move right, move down, and move to the right. It will help me get the gem. So I'm gonna run it so you can see. So it helps you to learn how to write the syntax and all the things that you need to care about or need to worry about when writing programming. Move down, and hero dot move right, right down right. This is how we get it. Right down right. So I'm gonna run it. You can see how it works. Right down right. Now we finished our first level. This is basically how we learn it. Let's see the next level. You can see if you guys can help me with this. So What do I need? What do I need to collect all the germs? How do I need to move? Anyone want to answer? How do I need to move to collect all the germs? So let me show you. So basically, we need to move to the right to get this one. Then we need to move down. Then we need to move back up 1, but back up 2. And then we need to move to the right to get all the germs. And then we need to convert that from the programming kind of things. Hero, down, move right. And then hero, down, move down. And then we're gonna move up. And then move up again because we're going to move 2 steps. And then we're gonna do hero, down, move right, like this. I'm gonna see if it works. Move right. Oh, something wrong. See, if I make a mistake, I'm gonna die. Oh, which part go wrong? Oh yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, obviously, this is the part. We should not have 2 of this.
Can't we specify how long we move?
How long you move? Yeah, you
How
can.
long?
How long you move? Yeah, but not
Is that why
at the
there's
beginning.
the brackets, or is that just like a Java thing?
Yeah, you can, but then right now, because this is the beginning, you can't, but at the end, there's a specific position that you can move to. There's an XY position, like for example, XY position. If I click on the map, I don't know if there's XY position in here. So right now you don't, but then later on, if you level up, at some point you're gonna deal with a lot of XY things and other ways to move and other weapons or other enemies to deal with. These are all very simple at the beginning. So just move to the right, something like this. So obviously right now I move to the right. And if, where's my pen? Okay, so if I move to the right now again, the guy at the bottom here, if I move to the right again, the guy at the bottom is gonna see me. So I need to get around it by going up, right, like this to get around him so that it doesn't see me because I don't have any weapon to fight him right now. So I'm just gonna do hero, down, move up. It's gonna go up. Hero, down, move right. Hero, down, move down. And I'm gonna go to the right again. Or you know what, let me just show you what happens if I just keep going to the right and then the guy will see me. I'm gonna run it. So I'm gonna go to the right and I'm gonna go to the right and then he'll see me. He'll try to stop me from doing that and then I'm gonna die. So we're to figure out a way around it, which is move up and then hero, down, move right. And then hero, down, move down. And then right again. So I'm gonna run it. Right, up, right, down, right. Okay, so these are the simple, very simple ones. I'm gonna go back out. I'm gonna show you some difficult ones. So as you program things that are harder, the stuff you write is gonna get very hard. Let's see, 11 or okay, 15, because this is about if statements and variables kind of things. And then I'm gonna start it. So now in here you can see there's a lot of different other ideas of programming they're gonna do. For example, this is a function, which we will talk about in the future. Function, this is the first idea of programming. A function helps you to do things. And then this is a while loop. All the different loops, while loop, all the different ideas that we might use. And this is the same thing we learned before. This is a variable. You guys still remember this guy? Variable equals to something. We're assigning whatever that's on this side into this variable. Then right now, I need to finish this level. So if I have to write a code that if the enemy distance is greater than 0, so I need to write if enemy distance greater than 0, and then colon, and I'm gonna write what happens when a condition is met. So just say the value hero.say. The value of enemy distance is just enemy distance, and then you can see we'll have like different kind of ways of attacking our enemy. Like this. I'll be ready, right? It's gonna pick up where the enemy is, and it's gonna attack it on its own. Also, let me show you one more level. Or we try a different. It's also about if statement, how to use these while loops, those if loops. Computer science 3. Let's try this 11. So basically, you just need to use your code to figure out how to beat the enemy. Right now, there are a whole bunch of if statements. What I need to do is to change those if statements to make it right. Remember before we talked about this variable called Boolean? Boolean, what is Boolean again? Does anyone remember? So
It's yes or no.
Yes, no, it's true or false. Very good. True or false. So Boolean is just true or false. As you can see right now, this is true, this is false, and this is false, this is false. So we need to change all the condition to make sure all the conditions are met. Because if the condition over here is not met, this kind of code will not run. And then what we need to do is just 2 plus 2 equals, that's right, 2 plus 2 equals 5. Then we can change that to 4. And then 3 plus 3 equals to 7. We're going to change that to 6. And that's 6. Okay, and 20 equals to 20. That's how we fix all the condition so that every condition is met. And I'm just going to add one more thing to get, because we want to get this enemy here to hit this mine over here. So we need to get him come all the way from here. By provoking him to say, come at me. Like this, I'm gonna run it. And as you can see, also you can see like these XY values here. Also it's gonna hit mine and it's gonna die. That's how we beat the enemies. Show you a couple more levels. I think this 116. Let's see if you guys can do this one, especially those one with programming experience. If you wanna answer, you can just go ahead. Let's see. Right now, find the layers, the enemy, to store it inside a variable. Again, how do we declare a variable? So this is first step. We need to declare a variable to store the enemy distance. And then we need to call this function here. And then we need to save the result of the function to another variable. And then we're gonna evaluate if the condition is true. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. The function is defined up here. I know it's a little bit complicated if we just started, but then that's the more complicated part at the end. First, I'm gonna store the enemy into this variable. We will find the nearest enemy. It's a built-in function that they have. Then I need to call this and save it to a variable called canAttack equals to the result of that function, enemy, like this. And then if the result of the function is attack, okay, so if canAttack equals true, then we do hero.attack. Like this, I'm gonna run it. Oh, it's not attacking. Probably some, see, very small stuff. I gotta use capital on the true. Oh, true. like this. Now I'm attacking all the enemies.
又乱按了，他想唱一遍。
Okay, so again, for those who have learned it, what's the difference between 1 equal and 2 equals? Do you guys answer the question? So what's the difference between 1 equal sign and 2 equal sign? If I can attack.
2 equal signs is change, and 1 equal sign is just is.
Close, but no. So 1 equal sign means assign whatever that's on the right hand side to whatever that's on the left hand side. Okay, that's what 1 equal sign means. 2 equal signs is evaluating. I'm not gonna write it out, it's too long. Evaluating whatever that's on the right side or the same thing of whatever that's on the left side. So same or not. It's gonna return a Boolean as a result. And then this is just assigning whatever that's on the right side to whatever that's on the left side. That's basically the only difference. So again, 2 equal sign will return a Boolean of true or false. 1 equal sign will just return whatever that's on the right side to it. A little tricky, I know. Okay, so that's basically our class for today. It's almost time, but you can see this is how we learn programming. We're gonna use a little bit of real test coding with some this gaming to help you with the syntax, how to write function, and other things. Okay, so anyone has any question? Let me unshare it. Okay. Yeah, if you have any question, unmute yourself and then ask it. All right, Dylan, you have any questions?
What's the website?
It's called Code Combat. Let me write it down. Code Combat. Where is, yes, okay. So I'm gonna send it to the chat. Yeah, Kiros, 你刚刚有问题吗？没有办法发声，等一下我看我能不能帮。哦，不行，我没有办法。
Curious, Curious, you can unmute Curious. 你要不会 unmute OK， 我帮你，等一下啊。哦，可以了。等一下，我看看啊。OK， 大家还有别的问题吗 ？Anybody got questions? Curious, unmute. Oh, I can't. Sorry, Curious, I cannot unmute you. 加 got question, go ahead, 加。
Is there like a better solution to write it?
Write what?
To like not write a bunch of if statements?
Oh, you can use this
Hello?
thing called a switch statement. It's an easier way if you have too many things you gotta meet. So you understand if you write if statement, it's if, else if, else if, else if, right? So if you have too many of them, you can combine that into a switch statement. You can Google that, switch statement.
Okay.
Very good. 加 do mind ask you how old are you, 加